Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. This is a T-Tapper tribute to Teresa Tapp. So for those of you who may be watching the recording later on, Teresa passed away on Thursday, September 20th, 2018. And she leaves a tremendous legacy of women and men who have just become family. And so we want to use this as a way to just kind of, what it reminded me of is the way that she would do with the retreat. So for any of you who have been to a retreat, she would have everybody share their story. And so I want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to do that if you would like. And I put in the chat, if you refer to that, kind of a format so that we can kind of keep it moving. Everybody has an opportunity to share as they would like, and then we will go from there. So my name is Vicki Drobness, and I am a Master T-Tap trainer. I found, and I'm from Dixon, Tennessee, which is just west of Nashville. I found T-Tap back in 2004 from a Fat Flush forum. I had been looking through that, and somebody mentioned T-Tap, and the thing that I liked about it was that it was a 15-minute workout and it didn't require special equipment, and that got me intrigued. And I went to the Try Before You Buy section of the website and started to try the exercises, like them, and decided to go ahead and buy the DVDs. And I did not think I was losing anything, but I did, was feeling better. And then whenever, later on that year, I ended up, I was graduating from my master's program, and I ended up having to buy a pair of pants that were 2 sizes smaller. Didn't even realize I'd gone 2 sizes smaller. So then I was really hooked with T-Tap. And so I would be able to, I just got really interested in it. Whenever I was a high school teacher at the time, and whenever I was teaching, we had come up, the state of Tennessee had come up with this law that students needed to be getting more exercise, and there was a way to be able to do that by adding in essentially little 3-minute moves. So I thought T-Tap would be ideal for that, doing hoedowns and all like that. But I was an English teacher. What did I know about fitness? And so I decided to certify, and got Teresa to approve me to certify. And then she and Rhonda Wilkins came to visit my high school and taught a class to both the teachers and to the students. And so I have my book, my Fit and Fabulous book that she signed that, and that was when she was introducing TapCore. So that's where I actually got to meet Teresa before I even certified, before I even got to Safety Harbor. And so I just loved being around her. She was so much fun, and it just changed my life. And I say, I've posted that Teresa changed the trajectory of my life to where I found people who were my tribe, people who understood health and fitness and that were as passionate about it as I was. The best advice she ever gave me was to believe in myself. I didn't for a long time, and she wanted me to become a master T-Tap trainer, or she wanted me to do the senior fit, and I had not originally planned to do the senior fit, and Lauren called me and said, Teresa would really like you to do this. And that just spoke volumes to me that she wanted me to do that. And I did, and I love it. I'm so glad that I did that, because that led to me becoming a master T-Tap trainer, certified in everything. If I could say one thing to Teresa, thank you. Thank you for believing in me whenever I didn't believe in myself. Thank you for creating a program that anybody of any age and any fitness level can do. Thank you for providing wonderful fellowship with the trainers and with the T-Tappers, and I will miss that so much. And I love you, and I will always think of you. So I'll try and do this without getting too emotional here. Thank you for posting that, Teresa. Then, yeah, okay, thank you. So who would like to go next? Just unmute yourself and go ahead. Okay, Mary, let's see. Do you know how to unmute yourself? I can unmute you. Let's see, I'll unmute you. All right. Say something and I can tell if you're here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Great, you'll have to excuse the puppies. They're all excited and barking in the background. Thank you so much, Vicki, for putting this together. And I just, I'm Mary Showman, and I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area. For those of you who don't know where I'm, okay, the dogs must know that Teresa's around because they loved her, and I would not have my dogs if it wasn't for Teresa, because I fell in love with Buddy and Mitzi years ago, and I decided that Bichons were the dogs for me. And so now I have an ancient, aging Bichon named Sam, who Teresa knew very well and loved, and a little tiny Maltese Bichon named Tika. So in any case, I just wanted to say that I met Teresa, I can't even remember, at least 10, 15 years ago, when I started getting a lot of messages from people who were my readers of my thyroid book saying, what is this TTAP program? I keep hearing about it and people are telling me about it, and it's such an interesting program and it's really working for me. And I said, I don't know anything about it. So I called the office and I said, what's the deal with TTAP? And they said, oh, well, we'll send you the MORE workout, the TTAP MORE, and we'll have Teresa call you. So I started doing the MORE workout, and believe me, everybody, I am the most discombobulated, uncoordinated person in the universe. So I was doing everything wrong. Anybody who's ever seen me doing TTAP knows my form is terrible. I just don't know what I'm doing. But I was, soldiering through it, as we all do when we first come to TTAP. And in 2 weeks, I lost 12 inches. And that was doing it 3 times in 1 week and 3 times in another week, poorly, badly, and slowly. And so Teresa called me around that point, and we got on the phone, and I said, I lost 12 inches. I can't believe it. I must have measured wrong. She's like, no, you did. And because I had dropped a dress size. And she, not much longer than after that, she invited me to come to my first retreat. And she invited me as her guest. I went down to the Tampa Bay area. My dad lives down there too, so it was really nice to be able to get down and meet Teresa and, get to see my family. And I was just blown away by the energy, the love, the environment, the empowerment, the support. I was going through a divorce. I had lost myself. I had just lost myself. I wasn't inhabiting my body, just emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And just that one experience at the TTAP event told me that this was something extraordinarily special. And T and I really clicked, as so many people did with her, and we became friends as well as colleagues. And soon after that, Teresa contributed a sequence for my book on menopause and thyroid disease. And we did the PBS specials together. She invited me to come and be the guest presenter with her in the 2 PBS specials that we filmed. And the filming was just hilarious and fun and crazy. I know some of you folks were there and part of it. And 1 year, I think a couple years I was a speaker, and 1 year I was the featured guest speaker. And Teresa put me in the gorgeous suite upstairs, and it was so hilarious. She was cracking up so much because next to me in the suite next to me was Alice Cooper, the rock and roll guy. And one night we all had way too much wine, and we were sitting out on the patio at 2 a.m. singing "School's Out Forever" to our next door neighbor. I don't know that he appreciated it too much, but I think she actually got to say hello to him at one point when he was walking out the hotel, because he was going to Ruth Eckerd to perform that night, and he was walking out of the spa. But all I can say is Teresa saw in me, and she saw in everyone, their absolute best, body, mind, and soul. And not only did she see it, but she convinced me of it. And I know she convinced all of you of it. And she had the power to then give us that inspiration to work towards it, and to never give up, that yes, you can, yes, we can attitude. So in that sense, I think I shared on the thing, T-TAP is so much more than a workout. It was Teresa. It was her energy. It was the ability to motivate your mind, body, and spirit to try to be the very best you could be and to support everyone else. I remember going at that first retreat. She had the catwalk, and there were all these women getting up, and there were teeny tiny girls, size 2. There were big girls, there were tall girls, there were short girls, there were girls who had just started T-tapping and girls who'd been at it forever, girls in great shape, girls who had, as Teresa would say, pounds to go, and my birthday, lots of candles on the cake. And everybody walked that catwalk like they felt they were the most beautiful woman in the world. And to be able to give that to women of all shapes and sizes and fitness levels and abilities is an incredible gift. And I just hope that we all can support each other in every possible way, on an emotional, physical, mental level, to keep that yes you can spirit that Teresa instilled in all of us going. So I just want everybody to know I love you. I'm so proud of everybody, and however you're taking this journey, whether you're shattered, sad, frustrated, angry, or feeling resolute, or all of the above at the same time, which is I think what a lot of us are going through. It's your journey, and Teresa would honor that. And I know we're all going to get together again, and it may be, hopefully, something we're going to be doing forever. So thank you, Vicki, for putting this together. It was a brilliant idea. And I just want to say I love you all. And I know Teresa loved us, and we love her. And Teresa, we're thinking about you, sweetie. And I didn't have my glass of wine ready yet, but I'm toasting you with my spiritual and emotional glass of wine, and sending all my love. So thanks, Vicki.
Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate you putting together the Yes We Can group. That was wonderful, because we were feeling like we wanted to share something, and we understood the reason why we couldn't share publicly yet, but it gave us a place to feel like, okay, we can reach out and talk to each other rather than just a conversation here, a conversation there.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And we love you too. And we've learned so much from you. And I think that was one of Teresa's greatest strengths, is finding people who could share even more about health and wellness. And again, that community. And we are very thankful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your dogs to bark, because it's like being at the retreat and having Buddy and Muffin barking.
Exactly. Bichon noise.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. All right, I'm going to mute Mary. And then if you would, Aurora had a great idea, is that as you are going on the, if you go in the chat, and we'll just kind of call from there, and that's an easy way to do that. So let me find Isabel. Or Isabel, you can unmute yourself. I know you know how to do Zoom.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary, for the group, and Vicki for setting this up. And I tell you, these video chats have been a lifesaver this week. Wednesday, Thursday, today, I have a house full of people. That's why I had to move, so that I could actually speak and so that you guys can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I've got my little microphone on. Alice Cooper probably didn't like the 2 a.m. singing, because the next morning I saw him outside the hotel in all white with a visor, and I couldn't believe that was Alice Cooper, all dressed in white, getting ready to go play golf. So that's probably why he didn't appreciate the noise at 2 o'clock in the morning. But that was really funny. I remember that year that they were there. I found out about T-TAP through a nutrition website, and took a look. I was a busy mom, 2 small children, and I hate exercise. I don't like going to the gym. So I took a look at it. It sounded great. It sounded like something I could do, 15 minutes a day. And also because it was so rehabilitative and I had a history of a very bad back, I thought, oh, this will be great for me. So I ordered it. I started in September and I started hearing about a retreat on the forums and I thought, oh, that would be nice. But, it was too soon. So I didn't go. But then 12 years ago, I had started 13 years ago. And then 12 years ago, when the book came out, Teresa came to Toronto and I went to the meeting to meet her and to get a copy of the book, and took my mom. And all I remember saying was, wow, like I've been doing the DVDs and, I kind of know her from that, but it feels like I've known her forever. And I just met her and my mom agreed, like, there was just something about her that you felt that you knew her and that you were welcomed, and she took you under her wing, or you just became part of the group and you just felt it. um, the best advice Teresa gave me was, it's hard to say which is the best advice because there was so much over the years, but one was in her belief in me right from the beginning. So I went to my first retreat 12 years ago. So after the book's launch, I met her in May, and then I went to the retreat in October. And this was a first for me. First time I traveled alone. First time I bought an online ticket. First time I was arriving somewhere where I didn't know anybody. Renee took my measurements. We became fast friends. And I kind of knew some people from the forums, but I didn't know what they looked like or anything. And I decided to celebrate my weight loss journey with a photo. So I paid for a photo, and I brought down the clothes that I was going to change into. And I showed Teresa the outfit, and she's like, no, that's too drab. And so I went back to my room. I got another outfit. She's like, no, that, doesn't work nicely for your shoulders, whatever. Go get another. So I got like 2 or 3 more outfits, and I kept changing in the washroom beside the room where the photos were happening. And she said, like, didn't you say you wanted to be a trainer? Why don't you just take the photo in fitness clothes? Because you're going to be a trainer anyway. So just take the picture in fitness clothes. So then I went to the Tapp store. And so it was just this, she gave me my wings. I've never had anybody impact me and empower me so much right from the beginning. I had so much doubt. Here was this chubby little girl who I'm I'm speaking, so I'll be right there. Uh, Someone's leaving. Here was this chubby girl who used to be over 200 pounds and was embarrassed to tell anybody that she wanted to be a fitness trainer. Like, really? I hated exercise. But Teresa believed in me throughout the years. She always gave me a boost. I had terrible confidence in my own abilities, but she always believed in me. She always encouraged me. We always had so much fun together at retreats. Another time that she came to Toronto. So it was really just her empowering me and me seeing how she empowered others that made me want to be a part of that. So it was always a pleasure and an honor to be a Tapp trainer and to be a little like Teresa. One thing that I wish I could say to her, and I really wanted to say it this year, was thank you so much for Tapp. It fixed my back so much that I was able to hike almost 900 kilometers, and I never had a bad day afterwards or during. So I never got to say thank you. I finished that journey this year, and I was so looking forward to thanking Teresa for such an amazing exercise that actually rehabbed my back to the point where I could hike like that. In the past, if I tried to go for a walk that took 3 hours, the next day I was crooked and I might not even walk upright. And I never had issues with my back at all. in all almost 900 kilometers while hiking. So that was the one thing. Well, and I wanted to say I love you and a whole bunch of other things, but I really, really wanted to thank her because that was a huge victory for me. And I wanted to celebrate that success with her. But she knows that I'm grateful. And I'm also grateful for all of you. Most of you I've had the pleasure of chatting with, playing playing around with on the T-Tap floor as we're doing our exercise or spending quality time together. And the sisterhood just keeps growing. And I love Teresa. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isabel. And I have to say thank you to Teresa for bringing us together, because Isabel and I room together whenever we're at the retreat, and I wouldn't have met her otherwise. And I'm very thankful for that. All right. Thank you. All right. I believe Teresa said she's going to go next. Yeah, you're already unmuted there. Go ahead.
Hello there. Hey, everybody. I know it's such a bummer to come together on such an occasion, but I so appreciate like what she's imparted to us. And that's kind of like what this community is about. But I had gotten involved in T-Tap in the early 2000s, like mid 2000s, and didn't really do much. I went like full force in. I was sharing with some of the ladies the other night that I had ordered, I was interested in isometric exercises, and I came across her because everything that was isometric related was always male dominated. And she was one of the first ones that was such a pioneer that integrated it with something that seemed more feminine, so to speak, to work out. So that was where the draw was for me. And so I thought, I'm going to order these things. The skin brushing sounded so cool because I was looking at kind of like you, Vicki, the detoxes with the cranberry juices and stuff like that, and skin brushing and stuff. So I ordered my kit. Then I got so excited. I didn't even receive it in the mail yet. I saw she was going to be in town, and I live in Pennsylvania. And so I drove to Ohio with my husband, and we saw her do a free conference. And then I went to a 2-day clinic, which is ridiculous to do when you have never, ever done a move, a T-Tap move. Let me just say, she became familiar with my name, Teresa. Didn't forget it. I was also known as Arms Up Teresa that entire weekend. So it was just a rude awakening. But there were some pains that I had that when I walked into there, that I left where some of the pains were eliminated. So I was like a believer right at the beginning, but I also was extremely sore. And so I realized the value. And the other privilege during that conference that we had, we went to a really interesting restaurant that was like a MASH unit. And I remember being there, and there was an older gentleman that came with his wife, and he went into sugar shock. She had him do hoedowns, which I didn't even know what the heck a hoedown was. I just saw him doing this stuff. He brought his blood sugar down 50 points just doing that. That I was like, my mouth was pretty much what yours was, Vicki, just wide open. I couldn't believe it because I knew family members that had diabetes, different sugar issues. So anyhow, I started following her, and I went to a clinic in Pittsburgh, and Michelle Barbuto challenged me to just join this challenge, which I just thought was weird. I'd never heard of it. And I'm like, well, I'll just do it. And darn, if I didn't get a phone call, I was the grand prize winner that year. And Kitty called me, and I would never have gone to a retreat if I wouldn't have won it. And then I became a believer the minute I went to that thing, and I knew what everybody was doing. So it caused me to get out of my comfort zone. It caused me to, you know how Teresa had, I mean, form correction is so key there. And it was difficult when you come from any kind of fitness thing, because a lot of people don't give you form correction, which is so invaluable. So I had to get past that. Like, you're not going to do it perfect because there's so many tweaks, and the tweaks were invaluable. So once I got past that, I mean, I just loved so many techniques, and you can see the fusion of what Teresa brought to it. So I really, really, really appreciated that. I never became a trainer. I feel like I know so many trainers from going to so many. I mean, to me, it was invaluable to go to so many events. I looked forward to it. I got out of my comfort zone, traveled by myself, I can say that some of you are some of my best friends that I chat with. And I never, ever would have thought that I had friends across the world because of this. And so I just appreciate that. And I just want to toast Teresa to thank her for just imparting to us what a community really means. Because I can tell you, when we got the news, we all were reeling, and yet we knew that there was a draw, and we knew there was some kind of means. And I thought, Vicki, thank you for posting that first thing of just saying, let's just do a Zoom, or was it Moon, like talking about, let's just getting together for a Zoom, and just, you know, sharing. And it was so therapeutic. I felt like we were sitting outside the Baranoff room, you know, just talking with each other, and it brought us smaller. So Teresa, I know you're being blessed. We're the ones that are sorry that you're not here, but we love you. So, but thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you, Teresa. That was very, very moving. I appreciate that so much. It is, yeah, it's still it is kind of like a, just a gathering of us sitting outside, and that's what I just keep thinking about. Emerald, yes, if you would like to do a written message, yeah, that would be great. And then I can save the chat as well and post that. So yes, please feel free to do that. Who wanted to go next? I saw something from Lori. It said, sure. I don't know if that meant she was going to go next.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Hey, Lori.
Hi.
So great to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Hate that it's under these circumstances, but well,
please go ahead.
I found TTAP in 2001, not the Women's Day article that everyone else seemed to find it with, but I was looking for an alternative workout to, did I just get lost?
You're there. I can still hear you.
Yeah, you're back. It went dead for a second, but you're back.
I'm here.
Yep.
Who's here?
Yep, go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. So I found TTAP in 2001, looking for an alternative to Greg Smithy's Buns of Steel. And I found Hit the Floor, and I never turned back. I found the forums and all you wonderful ladies. It was all ladies then. I went to I wanted to go to the cruise, the first cruise. I wanted to go, but I was too shy. I could not do it. I could not make myself do it. I couldn't even tell my husband I wanted to go. I was so shy. It was 2005 before I got the nerve up again to say, I want to go to this. I want to do this. And I went. And I was at that retreat for 36 hours before I had the nerve to say, I'm Lori. Hi. I came in early. But once I did, walked up on that stage and said my name, which was my forum name. I'm Lori T. French. I got an applause. I felt so welcome. And it really, TTAP really changed my life. I had horrible arthritis, psoriatic arthritis. And I went into remission when I did TTAP regularly. Changed my life. And I just wanted to tell Teresa how much I appreciated that. Just the faith and just she kept up with me. She wrote a success story and the community that she built. That's where it's at. It's the community. That's it. Thank you, Vicki, for putting this together.
Well, thank you, Lori, for being here. And this was, yes, we'll toast to Teresa. This was Isabel's idea originally, so we will give credit where credit is due. And then I think to record it and all like that may have been Linda's idea. So we're really glad that everybody is here. I am, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Lori. And I've been asked to read Emerald's testimony that's in the chat, so you can read along with me if you would like. Let's see, put me back on the gallery view here. I only have a written message that can be shared. Okay, oh, there we go. I found T-TAP while looking for a rehabilitative workout at the beginning of this year. My needs are simple, should be easy enough to follow, customizable to my own slow pace, and can be done comfortably in the privacy of my own home. No special equipment required. Support should be available and it has to be affordable. I tried the butterfly video and it felt good right away, so I was hooked. My progress is slow and I still have a lot to learn, but I can see the improvements and changes over time. Besides minimizing pain, managing fatigue, and improving range of movement, I think my most important takeaway with T-TAP is believing that I can still heal at any stage in my life from the inside out. That allowed me to dream and plan again of things I thought were no longer reasonable. I can look forward to a meaningful life because of Teresa. I am forever grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Emerald, for sharing that. That was just beautiful. And yes, Aurora, thank you for asking it to be read aloud so that it is not, doesn't get lost in the shuffle and that. So, all right, who would like to go next?
I can go next if that's okay.
As
This
perfectly
is
fine,
Cheryl.
Cheryl, please go ahead.
Everybody's faces, Vicky's, and
Yeah, okay, yeah, you kind of froze there for a moment.
invited. Awesome. It's been so long.
We lost your video, but we can hear.
Grief that whole night, but realizing how much she's done. Pardon? Oh, I thought somebody was saying something. Anyway, so it was really awesome to, realize that she had just commented on a picture, not even a day, probably a day, 2 days before she died. And she was an encouragement to my young daughter, Natasha, when she was very young. Asked her to come work with her when she got old enough. And yet she was always reaching out to everybody. So I just want to say thank you for doing this, and thank you for acknowledging all the work that Teresa's done and how she's affected all of us. And I just want to say thank you because she's touched so many lives. So just thank you very much. And it's so good to see everybody else's faces and how we're all growing up. So that's all.
Thank you, Cheryl. We're so glad that you shared with us. And yeah, she's touched a lot of lives. And the
Yes.
fact that we're all here and we know that group that Mary put together is, the last number I saw was 300 plus, which is probably more than that by now. And then also the 61-day challenge group that Monica put together has, I think, close to 700 people. And there are people who are participating in this that they may have heard of T-TAP, but they never did anything with it. And I know I sent a link to the Try Before You Buy videos to probably at least 5 or so people who said, yeah, I've heard about you talking about this, and I really would like to be able to participate for those 61 days. So we have, I guess, our unofficial 61-day challenge going. And someone had the idea, and I'm sorry I do not remember the name, to make future T-TAP challenges, instead of 60-day challenges, make them 61-day challenges, to celebrate every year that Teresa was here. And I think Jen said that she loved that idea. So I think that it will be wonderful to be able to do that. All right, is there someone else who would like to share? All right, Celia, let me unmute you. All right, you are unmuted.
Hi everyone. Hi, I just want to, sorry, it took me a while to get my nerve up to speak up. I just want to say thank you, Vicki, thank you everyone for doing this tonight, for inviting me as well. I want to share a little bit about my story with Teresa. Teresa and I unfortunately never got to meet in person. Over the last 2 years, she and I had been messaging. I found out about T-TAP back in 2008. First, I want to say I've got Hashimoto's disease, and I'm a kidney cancer survivor. And I found out about T-TAP by reading one of Mary Schulman's books. Mary and I have become really good friends. And I had been told by my doctor when I was 37 years old that there was nothing more they could do for me as far as helping my body to feel better. I've got fibromyalgia and I've got just a whole bunch of issues. And when I read one of Mary's books, I read about this T-TAP exercise, and I wanted to find out what it was. So I went on the website and got all of the workouts, like all of them. The butterfly one is my favorite. So, and the hold downs, I have to tell you, I was adrenal fatigued for over 2.5 years and just couldn't move, couldn't do anything. But doing Teresa's workouts just sort of like it just invigorated me, and it didn't just do something for me physically as far as my body goes, but also my spirit. It lifted my soul, and to watch her on screen and I'm following along, it was just very invigorating for me. And the last message I got from her about 2 months ago, because I wrote a book about my story, and she was very excited to be one of my beta readers. And the last message I got was, "Wow, what a beautiful cover!" And she was just really excited about that. And I just want to thank her. I want to thank Teresa for making me feel part of her world and making me feel like I mattered, even though she and I never really met. And I could just reading her messages, going through her messages, I can feel her. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you, but I can feel her embracing me. And I've had 3 candle ceremonies for her with my family here at home. And last night I added, I've got some wishing paper, and I wrote a message for her, and I lit it up, and I watched it fly, and I saw it disintegrate. And as it disintegrated, I saw the little flashes of the little, the sparks of the fire. And I could just tell, because my son said, Mommy, it's a butterfly, it's a butterfly. And I could feel that was her, because she and I talked about butterflies a lot. My book is the title of the book is The Golden Butterfly. And so that was just to see that butterfly form. It was like, wow. I mean, she's, I could feel her energy being here. So I just want to say thank you. I really hope that there's another retreat, and keep her spirit alive, because I missed last year's retreat because I had renal surgery, and it was going to be the year that I was going to finally get to give her a hug, and say thank you. But I'm not going to be very sad anymore, because I realized that I can hug her any time of the day that I want. And I really can feel her. And last night I had a dream. I didn't feel like I had the right to mourn her, or I didn't feel like it was okay for me to come on to this meeting, because I never got to meet her in person. But last night, I just want to share something real quick. I had a dream, and she came to me in her light body. It was so beautiful. And she looked at me with a smile, and she said, "Celia, yes, you can." And yes, you can, So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, ladies, for this. And Teresa loves you all so much, and is so, so very proud of you. And I really hope I get to meet all of you, and sometime soon. Thank you.
Celia, thank you. That was beautiful. I got tears now.
I'm sorry.
Because it doesn't matter. Oh no, the good tears. And that's the thing that's beautiful about what Teresa has created, is that it doesn't matter if you met her or not. Is she was always that way about accepting everyone. And so I'm sorry you never got to meet her, but you have the best experience of her because it's a one-on-one. And I love the golden butterfly, and then you got to see that with that's very, very beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with us. And yes, we will give you hugs whenever we get together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Nicholson had to leave to go get her kids, and so let's see, I was going to mute. There we go. Okay, she had to leave, and so she said, "Thank you, Teresa. I'm forever grateful." And Elizabeth has an amazing story. I think she's Elizabeth. I see her in the. Let me just do a quick look through. I don't see her in my list here, so I guess she did have to pop off. Maybe she'll come back if she gets a chance to. So who would like to go next? These are all wonderful. These are so beautiful. These are going to mean so much to people who watch these later. Surely we're not done yet. So, Lisa, would you like to share? Okay, all right, let me unmute you here. There.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
trying to work up the nerve to do it. I feel like
Yes.
I feel like I've told my story so many times that most people must know it already. But how I found T-Tap was after I had my last baby. I was left with a lot of weight, and she died, and I didn't have the benefit of nursing or anything, but I did have all this weight that I needed to lose. So my sister was going to Weight Watchers, and she heard about this T-Tap thing through the forums of Weight Watchers, and she asked me if I wanted to do it with her. She said, "I already ordered all the tapes. Do you want to do it with me?" And I said, yeah, I do. Anything that didn't involve starving myself, I was all up for. So, and I was willing to try just about any exercise. So she got the videos in. It was VHS back then, because this was in 2000. And we jumped right into a 2-week boot camp. We didn't sit and observe the videos or anything. We just jumped both feet right in. 14 days, boom. And within a few days, I had lost several inches all over, which blew my mind. It was, you measure and you measure again and you measure again after that. And, oh my goodness, it comes up with the same number. How is that possible? So, yeah, it took about 2.5 years. I went from a size 18 to a size 4, which I was hoping to get down to a 10, which is where I was when I got pregnant. And then I went beyond 10. I got down to an 8, and then down to a 6, and then down to a 4. Like, okay, this is unreal. So anyway, I was geeked as all get out about T-Tap just for that simple fact. But then I found out about 6 years ago, accidentally, through blood work, that I had anti-nuclear antibodies for scleroderma, which is one of my worst nightmares, because I've learned some about it in the past, and I said if there was any disease I did not want to get, it was that one. That one ain't cancer, but even, I don't know, it was a contest which was worse. So, and it dawned on me after I was done reeling about that information, that if it wasn't for T-Tap and the anti-inflammatory, what do you call it? Just, it's anti-inflammatory. How where would I be? Where would my body be right now? Would I be one of those people with scleroderma who can't move? With skin so hard that you can't stick a needle in for IVs? Would I have trouble breathing? Would my heart work? You know, that when I realized that, I was blown away for another reason. And I firmly believe, and I've told Teresa this, I firmly believe that it wasn't for TTAP, I would be in a much different place. I wouldn't be able to play with my grandkids. I wouldn't be able to move. I really do believe that. And I've thanked her for that in person. I'm glad I've been able to do that. Have I met Teresa? Yes, I met Teresa, which first retreat was in 2008. And I'm standing there, you know, we're doing the workout and I'm hearing her voice. And then I realize, oh my word, I'm not just hearing her voice and I'm not looking at a video on my TV. She's like right there. And I was just geeking out, fangirling all over the place because I'm in the same airspace as Teresa Tapp. Oh my word, you know? And yeah, that year I was third runner-up because I did the challenge. The next year I was first runner-up. Year after that, I was my category winner. But she's given me things that I never thought that I would experience. Things like, well, first of all, she took notice of me. And there was something about my story that, I don't know, and now I'm having trouble putting my thoughts into words. She kept telling me, I'm going to make a model out of you, Lisa. I'm going to make a model out of you yet, she would say. And I'm like, geek, nerd, not popular, you know, all these things in my head. And what Teresa saw, I still don't know what she saw in me. But best advice she gave me, that my mind kind of draws a blank with that. Because just keep going and you're doing great and I'm proud of you. And, you know, those are things that she said. She would message me like she's messaged so many of you with encouraging words with the capital letters and exclamation points, which always, thank you, Mary. That always meant a lot to me, to see her like my things. And it sounds like it's all about me, but I mean, she's somebody who I've admired so much that she's taken an interest in me. It just mind-blowing. If I could say one thing to her, probably two things, but they're kind of intertwined. Oh boy, I wish I could certify in front of her. And I want her to be proud of me as a trainer. So yeah, thank you, Vicki, for hosting. And Mary, thank you for this page, for the Yes We Can page, because oh my goodness, that was a lifesaver for me on whatever day that was, because was that Thursday? That was a lifesaver for me because I was flipping out. Oh yeah, I was flipping out. There was something, I had noticed that she had not posted for 5 days. Mm-hmm. And I messaged Renee and said, Teresa has not posted anything. She's not liked anything. She's not posted anything in 5 days. And then I started seeing people posting pictures with her. And I'm like, Spidey senses are going off the chain here. What's going on? So it's kind of weird that I just had a sense that something was going on, but I'm just really, Mary, so grateful that you started this group and it's helped a lot. So anyway, that's good.
Thank you, Lisa. And I know that Teresa would be incredibly proud of you, and she is, and she's going to be there while you're certifying, and we're going to be there too, and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to be an amazing trainer because you have such a history with it. And
Thank you.
yes, and this, I too had the spidey senses going for probably the past couple of weeks. I couldn't figure out why I felt so anxious and felt so like something was so off in my world, because there really wasn't anything else going on that should have given me that indication. And it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And I'm, trying to figure out what's going on. And then it was like that. It was like, okay, now I know. Now I know what I was picking up on it, because it was picking up, having been close to Teresa, but also so close to the staff. And I knew, since found out they knew what was going on, of course, but, and some of us here knew a little bit more. And so that the closeness of the community that Teresa has put together, it's no wonder we all knew something was up, because we're connected on a soul level. And she did that for us by seeing the soul in each of us. And Lisa, that's what she saw in you, is that soul, that beautiful soul that's there. And you've been an inspiration to so many, and we're incredibly thankful. So
I'm just so grateful for all of you, for Teresa, and I'm just grateful.
yes,
Yeah.
it's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna mute Lisa, and then let me look through there. Susan, yes, that's thank you for saying that. Is that it does help with our sorrow, and the group that Mary put together, that is very helpful. And Dawn, it does not matter how long you've been a part of the community or been active. Yes, if you'd like to speak, let's see, I'm gonna find Dawn over here. I'm gonna unmute you. Let's see, maybe. I don't know that. There we go. Okay. Dawn, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Yes, please go ahead and speak.
Gosh, I can't even remember my story. It was so long ago, but I met Teresa in 2001. She was coming in and out of Houston quite a bit at that time. And I think I had just turned 40. And like many of us at 40, had gained a bunch of weight. I had always been a pretty slight person and was struggling. I think I had bought, I don't know how many sets of videos from different folks. And of course, during that time, everything was still on VCR tapes. And I had the occasion to go to a free seminar that she was giving, and rapidly became very interested. And as I say, she came in and out of Houston a bunch, became a master trainer. She had allowed some of us at that time to actually start training classes. There's a group of ladies here in Houston that I'm still pretty close to. And honestly, I guess about a month ago, I actually took out my brush and started brushing again. I hadn't done it in so long, and I'm now 56. So she just was an amazing person. I do remember her making calls to me when I was first doing it, and I certified in front of her, which was a pretty daunting task. I was so nervous. I didn't think I would ever be able to actually certify, and I'm one of those people that always goes left when everyone else goes right. So I just really didn't think I'd be able to do that. And she was just an amazing individual. She gave me so much confidence. And I actually was a trainer on the first cruise that she did, which in and of itself was a difficult thing, trying to train on a cruise ship. And if you didn't have balance on dry land, that was definitely a challenge. But I do remember I was going through a rather bad time in my life. I was in a pretty abusive relationship at that time. And I think joining Tapp gave me that courage to walk away and just had such a wonderful group of folks. I'm not a big Facebook person, and so I have no idea why I decided to jump on Facebook today, and was devastated to read that she had passed, and pulled some of the pictures that I have from being at, she did one of her retreats. I think she always did them close to her birthday or on her birthday, and meeting Mark and being able to spend her birthday with her and going to her land and such. But anyway, I guess the fact that I felt comfortable enough to join this call after being not part of the community for so long is a testament to Teresa and the way she was able to bring women together. So my heart is with her, and I guess what I have to say to her is Godspeed, and I know she'll be T-tapping in heaven. God knows she'll have a group of people together in no time. So God bless all of you, and prayers and thoughts are with you all as we mourn her passing.
Thank you, Dawn. And I'm thrilled to get to know you now, and to know that you were one of the early trainers. That's amazing. And like Mary said, once in, always in. And I think there are times I took a little break from T-Tapp and decided to diversify and to go into Zumba, and ended up hurting myself. And T-Tapp is what rehabbed that. T-Tapp more rehabbed it, my torn rotator cuff, more than 6 months of physical therapy did. And I was back. And so we're glad that you're here, and I look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to read what Susan said in here. Never met Teresa, but so glad I found her. Love her, and thank you all for hosting and speaking up, and it helps with my sorrow. And thank you. We're glad that you're here and that it is helping, because I think it is, the more that we communicate with each other. And again, just a big thank you to Mary for putting the group together so that we had a place to commune. And then Aurora was going to go next. I'm going to unmute you, Aurora, and then she's going to read something from her sister Ruby, who is in Hong Kong, I believe. Aurora, you're unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I
Please
cannot
go
even
ahead.
see my face. Okay, so I'll wait. Eventually I'll see my face. My name is Aurora Johnston. I started T-Tapp around 2011. I remember it was around July 3rd. I ordered the DVD because I did a whole month of research on T-Tapp before I jump on it. I am a tax CPA. I am an Internal Revenue Service auditor. I research everything to the depth. I look at the T-Tapp forum. I read a few blogs. I think Trish Spot was one of those. And then I also look at Charlotte's. So I read that and make sure that, what I'm getting into is something I can do. And it is a good thing. So it turned out to be, because after I ordered it, I didn't have time, but I read the book. And then I went to Hong Kong for vacation for a whole month. And I did it in Hong Kong, when I was vacationing. I was well fed, I can sleep anytime I want. And after I read the book for 2 weeks and read every single thing on try before, buy website, I really read everything before I start off. And as promised, when I was waiting for the DVD, I did lose more than an inch on my tummy. It was crazy. That all in place was crazy. How do I don't even know what muscle to activate. And I lost an inch. So I was so when I was in Hong Kong, I lost probably 20 some inches already. Because as it goes, I didn't even start the workout until 2 weeks into my vacation, after I finished all the books and read everything and read every single DVD. I didn't even know then, why they advised that, but I did read every single DVD, watch it before I understand. And you know what? The first primary back stretch, I almost fell on my face. It was so humiliating. I have never done that in my whole life. I was a little bit bigger, but I wasn't uncoordinated. So it was so strange. So even I lost 20 some inches right away after the vacation, my pants was falling off. I went back to United States and then I said, okay, what exactly is that? Some movement I have no idea how to activate. I did not count that 6 to 7 muscles that I activate. I need to find out for each move. Even though I read the book, I highlight everything. I still need to know what else in there, because some of the move, I really didn't feel the muscle. What exactly the muscle I need to move? So I moved on to the forum. I joined the forum probably in September 11th. That was the day that pops up. To 6 weeks to a new year. I really thought it was just 6 weeks. It didn't turn, I later on I find out it was an ongoing thing. I've been there for almost 7 years now. So with the T-TAP forum, I read it every single day. The day that I didn't need to do the exercise because it is EOD. I don't do total every single day. I do every other day. So what do I do with the 45 minutes or an hour that I have so much time for? I go with the forum. I start reading it 45 minutes, an hour. Then soon it was like 3 or 4 hours. I was addicted to the forum. Kind of like, if there's any forum addict, raise your hand, because we all need to know. So I read all these things before, during, and after. I see almost every single one's name here. Like Vicky and Moon and, and a lot more people that, not on the forum anymore, but all the collective wisdom. And all of them has different interests in T-TAP. That is what I have to tell Teresa. Thank you. I get to my tribe. These people are mindful. They are holistic. They want to perfect their life. They want to do the best they can, not going back to, that's how it is. I can't do anything about it. No, every single one of us, we can do what we can if we try. Don't give up. The fat lady hasn't sang it. We were fat, but doesn't mean that the fat lady was singing. There is always way to improve. If this doesn't work, hey, look at the other thing. If one DVD doesn't work for you, this workout doesn't work for you, hey, maybe you're not there. So I totally believe the saying that they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will show. Yes, I'm beating myself up. I'm pissed off at every single retreat that I decline to go because of my mood, because of my own personal struggle, maybe my depression. But hey, I do the best I can. I will get there when I get there. And it is sad. I have to say that it's sad that I should have gone to the retreat last year. I should have gone to the retreat the year before. But then under the same circumstances, that is the best I can do. And I'm always grateful for the pain relief that it has given to my sister, because I left Hong Kong for 30 years. I did not have the sisterhood. The sisterhood in T-TAP gave me the comfort. I can bond with someone. And every single day I go to the forum, I connect with women. I connect with women all over the world. And that helped me tremendously. So I have to tell Teresa, yeah, seriously, it hurts that she's not around anymore. But then before I know her, before I get the chance, I get the luck to meet her, I had the T-TAP sisterhood. I was able to connect with all the women in the T-TAP forum, and I will continue because I chose forum as my first place to dedicate my time, because with all the other Facebook groups, all the trainers, they are there, they cover it. But I will stay in the T-TAP forum. So I have to tell, Teresa, don't worry, I'll stay at the forum. And I cannot say, express all my gratitude because I was having adrenal fatigue and all these midlife crisis, health issue. I can get out of it really, really fast because I am aware. I'm aware because other people had gone through that. Vicky, Trish, all these other women had gone through with all these things. Mary Showman have all these, things that I am aware. I am grateful. I am very grateful for being aware of these things, and there's always things that we can do if we try. That's all I can say. You gave us the tools. You gave us the community. Even if you're not around anymore, I will just have to treat it as like, okay, Teresa went to Switzerland for a ski retreat. We are left, to deal with it ourselves, but we can handle it. We'll just have to reach out to each other. So that's what I can say is thank you very much for this community. And I will see you one day. And I'm going to tell you, you disappoint me. I thought you were going to outlive me. But now I'm just going to live and the best life I can. And I'm going to tell you, you owe me how many years, and plus, 10. So thank you very much, Vicky. Thank you very much. And it made a, big difference.
Thank you, Aurora. I appreciate you being on here and love your story. And I love hearing how thoroughly you research this. It makes us feel even more confident when we know somebody like Aurora has thoroughly researched this to where we know it's good. So anybody who's new and getting started, this. So
and here, it is the sparkling wine that Teresa recommended one day. It was South Coast Winery. So we always our glass and cheers. She lived life to the fullest.
Exactly. Thank you. All right. I've gotten a couple of messages from, I think, people who are on but are on the phone. So one is from Margie. So I'm going to read what Margie sent to me through Messenger so that we can have this on this recording. This is Margie Weiss. And so those of you massaging Margie, and if you've never had a Margie massage, oh my gosh, you're missing out. This is from Margie. Teresa Tapp, I love you and I can feel your goosebumps now as the reminder of your loving ability to reach into our hearts and wave your magic, yes you can wand. My personal definition of love that you exemplify to the fullest. Love is a buffing cloth that removing the tarnish from one's soul, empowering one to shine. Time to pay Teresa forward by living our lives to the fullest, especially in this time of grief. Number 1, love is eternal. Number 2, spirit is eternal. Number 3, consequently, is our job to make TTAP eternal. Pay it forward. 4, Healing After Loss by Martha W. Hickman is a daily meditation book that helps with grieving. 5, grief counseling helps. TTAP Sisterhood helps. The 61-day TTAP challenge helps commemorate Teresa's 61 years. Number 6, healing affirmation. It's okay to be gentle with ourselves when we're going through change and grief. Please, to all those that love Teresa, family and friends, take care. I'm sending prayers to all for comfort, peace, courage, and strength as we muddle through this grief to actualize our dreams as Teresa would want to see. I had the honor and privilege to be there before TTAP, during, massaging and supporting through the finale until watching her last breath from 1994 to infinity. I will make you proud of me, Teresa. I love you forever. Thank you, Margie. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Emerald added in the chat here. I'm jealous for those of you who met Teresa and those who started with TTAP years ago, but I'm grateful to all of you for blazing the trail for newbies like me. And it's always a wonderful thing. Celia just added, it's a school night for my little one, so I have to go. So I want to say thank you for this meeting, and I hope to meet you all soon. Sending you all great big beams of love and light. To Teresa, may your light shine bright for all eternity. Thank you, Celia. Thank you so much. And I got a message from Annette. Let me see if I can find Annette's number here and unmute Annette so she can speak. Annette, let's see. Nope, over there, it moved. Annette, is that you?
It is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Well, thank you guys for putting together this call. I'm still in a pretty much ebb and flow emotions, but Dawn, I just wanted to tell you that even though you've been out of the community, Teresa still talked about you to these days. And I do remember your story. It's because you used a rubber band to tighten your pants. Teresa laughed about that because within a week you were able to get rid of the rubber band. So in case you don't remember your story, that's what it was. It was pretty cool and she liked it. But I just feel these last few days is just like this history going on because I've worked with and alongside Teresa for 21 years. I first found her, and I used to laugh to her about it, that it was just some kind of divine intervention because I was on my lunch hour and I had to run some errands and I ran into road construction. And so I had to veer into a store that I never went to before, but I just needed some supplies. And I happened to walk by a magazine stand, and that's, it was a magazine. It wasn't well known. It was called VIE, V-I-E. And Teresa was the exercise editor of that magazine at the time. And I read her article and I just never looked back. I thought this woman's a genius, and I ordered her tapes. And that was when she only had instructionals. There were the two super fat inch loss burning, and they were long and tedious, but I look back and I was fortunate because I had to learn them inside out. But the funny thing is this is when her company was really new. And so I would call the office and I had about a 75% chance of getting Teresa on the phone. And the first time it happened, she answered the phone, "Mrs. Teresa," and I was just starstruck. I was dumbfounded. I said, "The woman on the video?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, I can't speak." And she goes, No, don't be. What can I help you with?" And, it was just from day one. And every time you called, because again, it was just instructionals. And this was back in the day when it was a 1-800 number where you dialed in, but that was on her dime. And back then phone calls weren't cheap. And I would call in just for a simple question or maybe order something. And I would be on the phone with her for 45 minutes. And again, that was, her dime, how giving she was to make sure people understood and knew her workout. And then I was fortunate enough over the years to just continue to work with her, and then was blessed when she accepted me as a trainer. And it was just amazing. But, like that first conversation that I had with her on the phone, how I was kind of starstruck over the years going to retreats. Women would walk in and they were too afraid to talk to her. And I'm like, no, been there, go talk to her. And she was just a human being. She was, she didn't like being thought of as the star. I mean, she was just so personable, and everyone that would go and talk to her was so glad that they did. And she just made them feel just amazing. And I remember during certifications were done differently early on, and she used to hold a retreat, and then she would just call out people that wanted to train and, make you go up in front of a gazillion people. And the first time she did it to me, she called me up with two blonde, tall goddesses, full bosomed, and here's me, shorter, brunette, flat-chested. The three of us were up there, and had to do the moves. And I got done. I said, "I cannot believe you did that to me, Teresa. I cannot believe you put me up there with those two." And she just laughed it off. And she goes, "You pulled it off fine." And I said, "But really?" But there was just funny things. And it's just, these past few days have just been like a trip through history. But I don't know. She was just an amazing person. Of course, all of you know that. And I agree with all the consensus that we need to continue her legacy. That's it.
Oh, Annette, thank you for speaking. And yes, we do need to continue her legacy. And I know that I've gotten to know you over the years, and I'm very thankful that Teresa brought us together, and that she brought all of us together. That's just the beautiful part of it is she may have started out to share a workout program, but it sure is more than a workout. Yes, thank you, Annette. All right. Okay, let's see. Who else? I don't know. Let me look through here. Emerald had to go. So thanks again, Vicki, and everyone who made happiness, comforting, and healing. You all keep Teresa's light shining. Have a great evening. Thank you, Emerald. I'm glad that you were here. Who else would like to share something? And as we're dropping some people off, and I know it's getting later on the East Coast. All right, Linda. Yep, go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I have no idea if I'm going to follow your format here, but I'll just talk for a little bit. Okay, so I was introduced to T-Tap through a friend who both she and I were struggling with just newly diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And I don't know if Mary's still on here, but my friend was reading one of Mary's books. And so she heard about T-Tap, and I think she got videos from the library, or the book from the library had video in it. I don't really know. Don't remember now. And so she said, so I think I borrowed the DVD from her. And then she heard about this challenge, and she said, why don't we do this challenge? This was like 2010. I'm like, all right. Not that, because we were thinking anything was going to come of it at all. It was just, okay, well, this will keep me accountable. At this point, I was really a lot into exercise, but basically was to the point of adrenal fatigue and all kinds of other things, and my life was kind of just crashing down. And so I didn't even know if I'd be able to exercise again. So I started doing it, and I thought, well, this challenge will just give me some accountability to do this. And my friend quickly decided that she couldn't do the challenge, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to do it just to be accountable to myself. And, I could notice I have a room that has people that built it. It was a ballet studio, I guess. So anyway, it's got a bunch of mirrors along the whole wall, and we never did take them down. So as I was exercising, I could see afterwards, I'm like, my abs, I can see a difference after one workout. Some of it was posture, but I'm like, I can't believe this, because the first time I put in that DVD, I looked at it and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. This is going to do absolutely nothing. I was used to going to the gym and working out for like an hour and a half all the time. So, I put the pictures in, did the challenge because I said I would. I thought absolutely nothing of it. Was totally shocked when I got a call from Kitty. Totally shocked about being a category winner. So then another friend of mine who actually knew what T-Tap was, and had kind of been on again, off again, said she would go to the retreat with me. I was like, Isabel there, who'd never flown, never traveled, never did any of this stuff. So I was like scared to death. Went to the retreat, learned all the things that I wasn't doing right, but, because the trainers would help you. I don't think I even talked to Teresa. I don't, I was one of the people that would have thought, oh no, I can't talk to Teresa. Next year rolled around, I did the challenge again, thought nothing of it, won again, went again. And that year, I just realized that this is something that is so valuable. Later on that year, I decided I was going to go ahead and look into becoming a trainer. I guess actually that would have been 2011. And I think the retreat, she didn't have a retreat that year. She moved it into the beginning of 2012. So I went, that's what it was. It was a beauty boot camp in 2012. So I went to that. And then she had another retreat later. And at that one, I decided to go ahead and get ready and certify for training. So I'd seen Teresa twice, but still, I don't think I'd ever talked to her. So my first real experience was up on that stage certifying, and my body decided to just totally crash into adrenal fatigue right before I was supposed to certify. So literally, I went to the retreat, stayed in my room and slept, and was only on that stage when I needed to certify or we were eating. So it was unreal that I even got there. And Teresa saw what was going on with me. And you know how she does, if you, any of the trainers, she'll pick moves that she knows will help you. And she was just so gracious to me. But the thing at the retreat that I remember most was that first year, because I thought, when I get there, I wonder what Teresa I will meet. You know, I knew the Teresa on the DVDs, but I thought, I wonder what she's really like. And I was just amazed. If you've been to the retreat, you know how she just sits so intently, sipping her wine, listening to everything, every detail of your story for every single person. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman is for real. Like, she cares about everyone, no matter what, no matter what. So yeah, then I became a trainer and still was just amazed what she saw in me and what she invested in me. And the fact that she got me to do that magazine article is, like, she didn't get me to do it. I mean, it was all free will, but I mean, just the fact that she saw so much potential in every person. So I'm trying to think, what was my list and what am I supposed to be saying here? The best advice, oh my gosh. You know, this past year's been a difficult one, and my son-in-law is going through a really, really, really difficult medical situation. And Teresa called me and was giving me information on how he could rehab from the hospital bed. And that was priceless. I mean, just to hear her, like, she cared about everything that you were going through. And, you know, the thing that I wish, I asked her one time if I could interview her, and she said yes, and we just never got around to it. And she probably assumed I wanted to ask her TTAP questions, and that wasn't it at all. And so that's one thing I wish I could ask her. I really just wanted to know, like, tell me more about your upbringing. Like, I want to know, how did she get to be the person that she was? So loving, so inspiring, so non-judgmental. And so that's what I'm thankful for, is that she always saw the best in me. She always saw the best in everyone. And that she could build such a community as this, where, you know, it's a legacy that's living on. And so I'm so grateful. So Teresa, I'm going to do a toast to Teresa. I'm so thankful that she's with her mom. I'm thankful that she's not struggling with health anymore. And I'm so thankful for all that she's given to us in this beautiful community. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Linda. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, she had a very unique ability to see the best in everyone, and just sending love forward to where you felt it whenever you met her. And she would be up. I remember going and doing the workouts that started at 6 a.m. And then thankfully she changed them to 8. But the first few years going at 6 a.m. and then she'd be up easily till midnight talking with people. And I don't know how in the world she did it. I certainly did not find the way. When you went to a TTAP retreat, you did feel relaxed because of the TTAP, but you certainly did not get sleep. It was not a place to go get sleep. So thank you. All right, let's see if there's anybody who's added anything in the chat. And if anybody else would like to speak, it's coming up on 7:30 Central Time. I know it's 8:30 and it's school night and work night. So if anybody would like to go ahead and share that hasn't, and if you're on a phone or something, you know, let me know and I can unmute you that way. Well, if that's all, then I will say that I am eternally grateful to Teresa for putting this community together. It is incredible to find people that care about health and care about each other, and it's been an amazing journey. And I know that it's not a journey that's over. It's just going to take a little different look, and we will all do this. And I think because of everything that Teresa has done for us, we want to continue that on. Like Margie had said, is we want to continue on what she's done and continue to share. And I know I think I'm going to miss the most, you know, the love and non-judgment, like Linda referred to, that she had. I'm going to miss picking her brain for really obscure stuff because she would know. Anyway, thank you all for being here. If you have a glass, one last toast to Teresa. We thank you, dear friend, for being part of our lives, for the time that you were here. And we know that you continue to watch over us, and you were in a far better place, and continue to inspire us, continue to show us little signs that you're watching us, and we will do you proud. We commit to doing that. Thank you. All right. Thank you all for being here, and I will get this uploaded as soon as possible, and maybe tomorrow. And I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll say good night.